So what I set up, started using last year was having review sessions. I was teaching a math course and I would have a meeting after school, or the kids had athletics and so they would be around after school, and there's naturally a lot of tension going on the day before the exam, and students would want last minute help the day before the exam. I might not be around, they might not be around. So I set up a live chat and was having live review sessions the night before the exam from about 7 to about 8:30 in the evening. That way, if they've got a track meet, for example, it could be after their meet. If they don't, then it's after dinner. The idea being they can work on it for a while after school the day before the exam, and then come to me with questions live on the chat. So Mike, could you scroll down to the end of chapter 2, and yeah, the online, that one there, the online review session chat. And what it does is, so yeah, enter the chat, and anybody that enters the chat gets that screen. And the students who have questions, Mike, would you ask a question, please? And the student can ask any sort of question. I get that question a lot, actually. That question will then show up to anyone who has signed into the chat. And early on in the chat, it'll be me and just a few other students, and they'll show up. And that is an excellent question, Mike. And the idea is everyone that's on the chat can see that question. And I tell them before, this works the best if you have a specific question. Don't just tell me you don't get it, because I can't do that over online. But if you have a specific question about a specific problem, I can address that. And as the chat gets rolling, I have to answer fewer and fewer questions. The same question may come up more than once, or the students that have a better grasp of the material show up and they start answering the questions. And so there's a discourse going on, not just between me and a particular student, but any student that signed on. And on a good review session, there may be as many as 20 on there at once. And I set it up so that they can see the entire chat. I was online from about 7 until I left before 9. But if you go back up to the top of the page, Mike,
sorry,
you'll
just your chat.
Okay, you go up, and you'll notice that students were actually still chatting with each other until midnight. Now, whether that was actually all math or not, I can go back and look, and I actually warned them about that the night before. I can see your whole chat, but I set it up so that they can, if they come in late, they can see what's happened before then. If they check out to do work on something else for an hour, they can come back and see what happened in the meantime. Well, there are some math terms in there, so it starts off as I answer direct questions. It evolves into students answering their own questions, and has the added benefit of, you can't really type in sophisticated equations. They have to phrase their questions in English. So they have to figure out what they're unable to do, ask me a question in English, and then either I answer it or the fellow student has to answer it in English, explaining to them what they did without just like showing their solution to the problem. So it stimulates a little higher level thinking at the same time.
This is one of your old sessions where you're actually involved with the chat.
And so this took place about a week ago, actually, the night before a test in my trigonometry class. It gets generally good reviews. As you can tell, it does rely a little bit on the students remaining focused on the topic at hand. But it does provide them an outlet to ask me questions regardless of their schedule. Sometime in the evening they'll be able to log on, and enables the other students to show their classmates that they can help them without me intervening at all.